I think if I hear you call me Becky one more time, six-pack, I'm gonna pop your tops. All six of them.
Who are you?
Steven Spielberg presents Gremlins. They're clever. They're mischievous. They'll get into the kitchen, the basement, the garage. They'll get into anything. And once they get in,
there's a real gremlin in my car!
You're in for it. Gremlins. They'll be expecting you at a special sneak preview Saturday, May 19th. Directed by Joe Dante. Rated PG.
And it's a request for Gremlins, the 1984 film, which is a classic. Now, if anyone wants to request any type of reviews or re-reviews, topics, reactions, anything of the sort, you just send the request either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both things are down below in the info box. And Gremlins is one of those films that kind of started this going, what more can I say that has been said about it? Because people know the plot of the film. They know the plot of Gremlins. They know the 3 rules. Keep out of the light, don't get them wet, never feed them after midnight. So what is it about this film I do enjoy? Number one, I think the first film does a nice job of capturing a small town magical sense during Christmas time. The look of the town, once in a while you see a little bit of map paintings, in particular the last shot I should say. But even when the town has been trashed and you have Zad Galligan, Phoebe Cates, and Gizmo walking down Main Street and just everything is wrecked and there's nobody out there. And you have this sort of creepy version of Silent Night playing on the soundtrack. That does capture that small town feel. And I thought Joe Dante did a nice job balancing humor with horror. You get some serious moments like when the mom is Rambo, fuck up all these gremlins, putting into the blender, stabbing the shit out of one, blowing one up in a microwave. But then you have the bar scene where the gremlins are like their own personalities. There's female gremlins. There are gremlins who love flash dance. There's gremlins that do flash Phoebe Cates. There's gremlins that cheat at cards. And you definitely get a lot more of that personality in the second film. And the effects by Chris Walas. For 1984, the effects are pretty damn good. Both on the Gremlin side and the Mogwai side. Especially Gizmo. In particular, the very up-close shots of Gizmo, which I think they use like a bigger head, much bigger head. Like when it's really up-close shots of Gizmo, those are wonderful. And the family is likable. I mean, Zach Galligan, he's a guy that... There's this Gremlins 2, Waxwork 2, for some reason, he didn't really get a lot of digs after this. But I guess really because when people look at this film, they look at Gizmo and they look at the Gremlins, they don't look at the human characters, which is too bad because I think the human characters are actually likable. Zach Galligan, he's a sweet, normal guy doing the best that he can. He means well. He doesn't want any trouble. He's an easy guy to root for. He's an easy guy to relate to. Small town boy who just working this bank job and dealing with this shitty bitch, Mrs. Deedle, who wants to hurt his dog and has a crush on Phoebe Case but hasn't gotten the nerve to ask, and just just a regular nice guy. His father, Hoyt Axton, who's the inventor, who means well, but his inventions always screw up, like the bathroom buddy and the orange juicer, the juice maker. The mom, like I said, the mom is sweet. She did a badass scene where she's Rambo. Sadly, you don't see the mom until like at the very end of the film, but Corey Feldman, which it seems weird. It seems as if there would be more of Corey Feldman's character. Because it makes me go, why was he even in this to begin with? Because Corey Feldman plays a friend of Zach Galligan who comes by. He's in one scene as a tree. I'm so confused I hit my own glasses. As a tree to sell other trees. Meets up with Zach Galligan when Zach shows him Gizmo. A scene where he's passing by to say hi to Billy, Zach Galligan's character. And then a scene where he's like hitting with the slingshots. You never see that kid again. And it made me go, why was he even brought up to begin with? And of course, Spielberg produced this, and Spielberg would also produce The Goonies, which also had Corey Feldman in it. And that was 85, while Gremlins was 84. Oh, it's just one of those weird things when I watch it again. To backtrack, I thought Joe Dante did a nice job at the beginning with showing how mysterious and obscure this shop is. And in particular, I know Jerry Goldsmith's music. Like, Jerry Goldsmith did a wonderful job on the music, showcasing that, like I said, mysterious angle in the beginning, and then the almost cheery notion of chaos and violence when the Gremlins are another wonderful job by Mr. Jerry Goldsmith, my favorite composer. May he rest in peace. I mean, well, technically, I guess my favorite composer would be John Carpenter because I love his scores, but one who specifically composes music, Jerry Goldsmith, because I love his scores for the Rambo films, Leviathan, Star Trek the Motion Picture. These films are good. There was one I was thinking of, Runaway. There's others, but yeah, like Joe Dante, the way he showcases the with the lighting, just everything in the shop, and then letting it blossom out when it's the small town. Snow everywhere. You really get a sense of the Christmas season. Another guy that isn't in it much, which I know there were scenes deleted, Judge Reinhold. Just like, oh yeah, there's Judge Reinhold. And they set him up, but they deleted the scene where he got locked in the safe, in the vault. And I mean, on one hand I can understand because it didn't amount to anything. But on the flip side, it's like, well, you brought up this character, Judge Reinhold, and then he disappears. And it's like, well, okay. Where the hell did he go? I mean, the deleted scenes are on the Blu-ray, but it's like, yeah, true, it's not much, but it's like, it at least would have made a bit more sense. But the whole thing with the Gizmo, the mogwai, the effects by Chris Walas, it's a very cute creature. It's a great design for the creature. And it's one of those things that, for those who don't know, the original idea was that, of course, he gets wet, there's other mogwai, there's a character named Stripe. He's supposed to turn into Stripe. That was the original idea. And that would have been such a different movie. I don't know if it would have been as memorable or successful if it went with that idea. Because if you took this really cute creature that people really enjoy, and all of a sudden he's a killer and you gets killed, and this really tragic notion of this sweet thing also made me go, well, did he purposely eat after midnight? Was he forced to eat after midnight? Like I don't know the original script verbatim. Like, was he forced to do it? Did he do it without knowing it? Or was he a lot less of a nicer creature in the original script? I don't know all the details. But I just sort of sat there and go, man, imagine if you went with that. Just how different. And I don't think it would be nearly as good. Because Gizmo is such a lovable character. I say creature, but it is a character. And then we're going to the sequel. Sweet, cute, and lovable. That it would just be like, man, it would be such a drag. And I could get it from a writing perspective that your treasured pet becomes your mortal enemy. Kind of that different dynamic. But I think a lot would have been lost, especially with all the scenes where you're carrying Gizmo and there's Gizmo popping up, and Gizmo getting his moment to shine to stop Stripe the Gremlin, which I know originally was supposed to be him and Zach pulling the shades, but they cut the stuff that Zach Galligan did, so it was just Gizmo doing it, which is fine because Zach Galligan and them did blow up the movie theater that killed most of the Gremlins, so there's that. It is one of those things in retrospect that technically Hoyt Axton and them created all this death and destruction on... Because people did die in this town. Definitely Mrs. Deagle, but other people did die. Like, there's people that there's no way they fucking lived. I remember the first time, well, I probably don't remember the first time I watched it, but I remember thinking Dick Miller and the character who plays his wife, that they died. I thought, oh, they died. They got ran over by the snowplow. Well, obviously that wasn't the case. I don't know if the movie they said, oh yeah, maybe it did on a radio. I can't remember. If it did, it might have been very briefly. But yeah, the Gremlins, the way they destroy this town, pulling people, trying to pull people in the mailboxes, and they did a nice job setting up the difference between Gizmo, who's very sweet, he's playing the instrument with the dog, and the other mogwai are assholes, spitting at them, being fuckwits and ass clowns. But then they just beat the shit out of Gizmo, throwing him in the laundry chutes. And also how, for a chunk of it, Joe Dante hides the look of the gremlin. Because you see like these nasty cocoons, and then when the teacher's looking for it, you only see a hand, or you get a reaction, oh my god, It waits until the reveal of Zadgallian, and then boom, there's the gremlins. Oh shit, that's what it looks like. I can imagine people who first saw this in the theater going, oh shit, that kind of moment. Not to me, because I've seen it many times, but... Oh, another piece of direction I do enjoy is when the teacher is showing this... he's in class showing this film about the heart. So you hear this boom, 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 boom. I like the way Joe Dante uses that as the camera pushes into the box, and he's using that as a music in a way, as a rhythm, as a tempo. Boom, 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 boom. As this oh shit moment. everything's going to hit the fan. These cocoons are opening up. And then it kind of glides into the cocoons are in Zach Galligan's home opening up. And again, that heartbeat background tempo, I thought, because I don't know, the sound of a heartbeat in a movie always gives me the creeps. I don't know why. Maybe it's because in a weird way I'm visualizing it's my heartbeat. I hope it doesn't stop. I don't know how else to put it. And again, it's a nice showcase of humor, heart with Gizmo and Billy and their friendship. How Zach Galligan cares for Gizmo. And good great music direction, the cast. Phoebe Cates, granted, she doesn't have a lot to do with this, other than really, she does like a handful of things, to be fair, taking pictures to steer the gremlins in the bar. But people remember the speech she gives the most about her dad fucking dying in the chimney at Christmas. I mean, it's a pretty fucked up story. Which I know the studio was like, you need to take that out. But you have the humor where the Gremlins, they watch Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, and that's like their favorite movie in the theater. Zach Galligan gets moments to shine action-wise, like he's fighting Stripe, and Stripe has a chainsaw, and he's holding him back with a baseball bat. The scene before that where Stripe is on all these TVs, that's a nice visual moment. Like all these TVs in the back all having Stripe's face on it. Yeah, I mean, this is one of those movies that just, it came out, it worked, and took a while for it to be a sequel, because Joe Dante didn't want to do a sequel. A lot of people didn't want to do a sequel, but, Gizmo, merchandising, there's a lot you could get out of that. And then Joe Dante, hey, can I have free reign? Yeah, and then you had Gremlins 2. I don't know which one I like more, because I like both of them quite a bit. And they're both different movies. That's one of the things I like about it. Because Gremlins 2 is a lot of crazy dads. Rambo is a part of it. I mean, I'm a sucker for that, of course. The effects are improved because of 6 years have passed. On the flip side, Gremlins has a little bit more heart, that small town magic of Christmas, and more of the family, Zach Galligan's family. Zach Galligan feels like he's in the first film more. Like the sequel, there are portions where he disappears. Because you got this dad, and this dad, and this dad, and this dad. And I mean, Zach Galligan is still an important character in the sequel, but just it feels like because there's so many other different characters and dads and stuff, him and Phoebe Cates, they kind of get sidetracked a little bit, which is one thing I do think this film is better at in that aspect. So I would say this film has a bit more of the heart, but at the same time, Gremlins 2 has a lot of that kinetic energy. So it's an interesting double feature, I'll say that. But yeah, Gremlins is definitely a classic and worth a look if you've never seen it. If you have seen it, it's worth a look. So with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. Dick Miller, may rest in peace. It was nice to see him in there. Who's in a lot of Roger Corman stuff. That's another thing I like about the sequel. He has more to do in the sequel, because Dick Miller's a very talented character actor. And there's nice in jokes. In the store, the Gremlin Stripe comes out, and there's like an E.T. toy in front of him. Hoyt Axton at one point is trying to call home, and there's like a Robbie the robot, and there's like the old time machine behind him. And actually, like Steven Spielberg rides by in front of the camera, and the guy behind Hoyt Axton when he's talking is Jerry Goldsmith. May he rest in peace. So that was cool. So you get some fun intros. Like, you could definitely tell Joe Dante had a hand in that stuff, and you know, having Dick Miller, because Dick Miller was in almost every Joe Dante film, which was nice. And I would say it's one of my favorite Joe Dante movies. I mean, I love The Burbs. I like Inner Space. Explorers, I love the first half. Second half ruined it. But it's definitely one of my favorites of Joe Dante's. But with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.